Welcome into today's Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Senior. No matter where you are, how you're tuned in, as always, we appreciate you for making today's show a part of your day. Excited to chop it up on the program today. We're going to do stock up, stock down after the Eagles preseason game against the Baltimore Ravens, going into preseason game number 2 against the Cleveland Browns. Stock up number 1, and we're going to go back and forth on the docket here. Jalen Carter's stock is certainly up right now for Philadelphia. He's really started to turn it on over the last couple of practices. And on Monday against Cleveland, he was dominant. Fletcher Cox said it was fun to see him, quote, destroy people. He was able to tally 2 sacks, a tackle for loss, a fumble recovery, and a quarterback hit that resulted in a near interception. And for Jalen Carter, it wouldn't surprise me if he's so impressive and so good throughout the preseason and at the start of the regular season that he starts to get some first-team reps ahead of Jordan Davis. Look out for that because I think he might be a better player. Here's that direct quote from Fletcher Cox on Jalen Carter. The biggest thing, just seeing him go out there and destroy people, I can say he's really soaking it up. He's learning each day the technique and how to take care of things on and off the field, being smart, making smart decisions on the field, knowing the playbook. I think he's got a pretty good handle scheme-wise and what the coaches expect of him, and now it's up to him to go out and execute on the field and ball out. A former NFL scout, Bucky Brooks, who now works for the NFL Network, said about Jalen Carter after he had that quarterback pressure on Josh Johnson on his first professional snap, he looks every bit as good as a number 1 overall pick. Now, speaking of this Thursday night game, Thursday Night Football watch party right here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. Watch party number 1 against the Ravens was great. We broke records for our preseason coverage, 50,000 views. Let's top that this week. Subscribe, turn on your notifications. Therefore, when we go live at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, an hour ahead of kickoff, you will be notified. Eagles, Browns, can't wait for it. Stock down, though, for player number 1, Rashaad Penny. I'm saying stock down because I think Trey Sermon has emerged a little bit throughout training camp, and I wasn't really all too impressed with what Rashaad Penny did, and I'm fascinated to see what ends up happening and how this Eagles running back depth chart shakes out. Because I think Kenneth Gainwell might be emerging as RB1. DeAndre Swift might be the specialty back for Philadelphia because he's a really good pass catcher. But I'll tell you what, that third down conversion that he picked up on Saturday against the Ravens was impressive, where he started that run up the middle, sensed a defender to his left, shook him out of his shoes, bounced out to the left, had the speed and elusiveness to get to the sideline, picked up a big chunk, and then finished that run by lowering the shoulder. Love what I saw there. But Kenny Gainwell has really been primarily used as that first and second down back with Swift coming in on third downs just because of his pass-catching ability. Rashaad Penny, I still like the player. I just wasn't impressed with what I saw against Baltimore because I thought Sermon looked a little bit faster and a little bit more explosive, and Sermon was contributing on special teams. And then Boston Scott, we know that he's the giant killer. Shout out to Giants Now host Marshall Green. He hates him, but we love him here in Philadelphia. Stock up, number 2, Tanner McKee. Absolutely loved how he played against the Ravens. He threw the ball downfield and pushed the ball downfield with power, precision, touch, accuracy. I thought he had a really good pocket feel. I like his stature at 6'6" and a quarter and 231 pounds. It was so hard to scout him coming out of Stanford because that offense was dreadful. It was boring to watch. For those of you who are college football fans out there, Pac-12 After Dark, it was a chore to watch Stanford. So in evaluating Tanner McKee, it was difficult to gauge how good he was, how bad he was, but I like the height. He has big hands. He has a pretty strong arm. And honestly, I thought he was a little bit better than Marcus Mariota. Did throw for a touchdown, but 10 of 20, 148 yards. I like the chances that he took down the football field. Here's what McKee had to say about his debut. I feel like on a lot of those deep balls, they weren't even necessarily perfect throws, but we have really good athletes, really good ball hawks. So if you give them a chance 9 times out of 10, they're going to come down with the ball. So that was what we did a lot of the time. And as a quarterback, that's what you have to do. If you have playmakers on the outside, chuck it up, let them make a play. Now, conversely, as Tanner McKee has his stock rising, I'm going to go stock down on Marcus Mariota. Did he convert on a couple of good third downs? For sure. But he didn't display the touch and never really has had the touch where he can layer footballs in to the second and third levels of the field against the defense really throughout his entire career. And I think that's been a problem for him ever since coming out of Oregon. He's a great runner. He is very fast. And I think that he's a good scheme fit for this team if Jalen Hurts were to miss time, because you can run that RPO and not really miss a beat. There was a drop-off last year from Hurts to Gardner Minshew because Gardner Minshew, who just got beat out by Anthony Richardson, by the way, with Shane Steichen's Colts, is more of a pocket passer. The touch is something that I like from Tanner McKee, but there was that one throw when Mariota threw toward the right side numbers where he just kind of zipped it in there and overthrew his man. And if he has to come in for an extended period of time, he might be able to win a game or two, which is the job of a backup. But do I have a lot of confidence in him for the long haul to beat teams from the pocket, especially with how he struggled with Tennessee, not really with the Raiders because he didn't play much, but then got benched by the Atlanta Falcons. Stock up here for Sidney Brown. I love what I'm seeing from Sidney Brown, and I really do believe that outside of Reed Blankenship, who has that starting safety job locked down, this is a competition that could come down to a couple of players here. Sidney Brown, Kayvon Wallace, and Terrell Edmonds. Nobody, as far as the veterans, has been able to really clamp down this role. Not even a guy like Justin Evans, whereas Sidney Brown is starting to really impress people. And against the Ravens, a team-high 9 tackles against Baltimore. And the next practice that the Eagles had, he was getting first-team reps. Sean Desai watched the film. He saw the range from sideline to sideline. He saw the speed, the aggressiveness, him playing with his hair on fire, how he gets up and down the field vertically, making plays against the pass and against the run. And he gave him first-team reps after what he saw on film from Brown. That's pretty telling. We'll continue to monitor that situation. As a third-round pick, he's off to a really, really good start. Ian Book, stock down for obvious reasons. We have 2 quarterbacks on this list. The drop-off from Tanner McKee to Ian Book was so noticeable. You saw big boy type of plays from Tanner McKee. Pocket feel, pocket mobility, didn't dip out of the pocket once he sensed pressure. As soon as the pocket started to break down against Ian Book, he jetted out of there. Doesn't have a big league arm, doesn't make big league throws. I don't like the touch and accuracy that he has either. And as soon as he senses that pressure, he starts to panic a little bit. Didn't impress me in the pass game. And I think McKee has earned quarterback 3 honors. I think Ian Book is going to get cut from this 53-man roster. If you want to bet on this preseason game on Thursday Night Football, and if you're a degenerate like me sometimes, here are your lines. Total over-under 37.5. The Philadelphia Eagles favorites at 3.5. And if you want to bet on this game, no better sports book to do it with than BetUS, because this deal is better than any sports book has to offer. A 125% deposit bonus. What that means is you put in $100, you get $125 back by using the promo code Eagles125 and that link down below, chatsports.com/EaglesBet. Stock up clearly for Eli Ricks. He was one of the highest graded defenders in the NFL preseason in week 1. Here's a look at his numbers. The pop play, of course, was the pick 6 against Anthony Brown. 12 coverage snaps, 4 targets, 1 catch allowed. It only went for 7 yards, 1 pass breakup, the pick that went to the house, a passer rating allowed of 0, and he was Pro Football Focus's highest graded defender. With the length that he has, the range that he has, he diagnosed and read the eyes of Anthony Brown, broke on that football quick, was able to pick it off, and then said deuces to Anthony Brown as he took it to the crib. Welcome to the roster. I think it's going to be really hard for Philadelphia to not have him on this 53-man team because of what he did against Baltimore. Can't wait to see him play against Cleveland as well. Feel free to interact with me on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me. It's the same handle on both social media platforms at Chase_Senior. I cover the entire NFL here at Chat Sports. Cover the NBA, college football, some Major League Baseball. I'm big into the health and fitness game as well at Chase_Senior. Don't be a stranger. Dennis Kelee, stock down for obvious reasons. Tyler Steen is doing a really good job of showing off his versatility. That third-round pick out of Alabama, after transferring to Bama from Vanderbilt, has been playing some backup second-string left tackle, but also can play right guard too. He played left tackle primarily in college, didn't play any guard, but when Philadelphia drafted him, they listed him as a guard. So if Tyler Steen can be one of your backup tackles and Jack Driscoll can be one of your other backup tackles, where is the roster spot for Dennis Kelee, who played 41 snaps and gave up a sack against a UDFA against the Ravens? Stock down, he might be on the outside looking in for this Eagles roster. Kayvon Wallace, have to give credit where credit is due. Sidney Brown has played well. Terrell Edmonds hasn't necessarily turned a lot of heads. Kayvon Wallace, on the other hand, has had a very good training camp, and he could earn a starting safety role. If not, Sean Desai has been running a lot of 3 safety sets on those heavy nickel packages. Kayvon Wallace might earn a role for this Eagles defense here in 2023. And then sadly, stock down for Shaun Bradley for a couple of reasons. Torn Achilles, he's out for the year. Special teams ace. So this really does hurt Philadelphia. He's logged a bunch of special team snaps his first 3 years. He was also in a contract year. And as a guy who is looking to earn a contract extension, to tear your Achilles in a contract year as a fringe roster type who is battling for some more linebacker snaps, really unfortunate for Temple University's own. Hopefully he's able to come back quickly, and next year, if he re-signs with Philadelphia, he could be on that stock up to help this Eagles special teams unit. So with that, we tee up this to round out the show. Who are your stock up, stock down candidates? A little bit of a new segment here on Eagles Now. Let us know what you thought of it, but most importantly, stock up, stock down candidates. Drop us some names.